Hi, welcome to class. We're going to talk about Native Americans, the first people that were living in North America. And these are the Native Americans. And I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see it a little bit better. But they had fancy clothes. They were pretty cool, the things that they would wear. So go ahead and just say the word headdress. Yeah, they would wear a headdress. Maybe that's a challenge for you to make your own headdress. And they loved to do tribal dances. Their clothes were made out of the skins of the animals that they would hunt. And they used every part of those animals. They didn't like to take advantage of wasting anything. They had a lot of respect for the creatures that they would kill. They would use the meat, the bones, the skin, tusks, or horns. And depending on where they lived, there were different tribes. And this is the approximate tribal locations before the Europeans came to take over North America. So there's all different kinds, Navajo, Comanche, Cherokee, Iroquois, and they just kind of had different, little different characteristics based on where they lived, and we're going to talk about some of them. These are the eastern ones, and look, they would often use canoes, um, just made out of tree trunks. They were smart enough to figure out how to make it float so they can kind of sit into it. And the Native Americans on the East Coast were often fishermen and farmers. That's how they got a lot of their food. So they would grow their food, kind of fish for it, and they were the first to encounter many of the Europeans who came over to settle into the New World. So the Europeans came, crossed over that Atlantic Ocean, and this is the area that the Eastern started lived, the Native Americans lived. I live in Michigan, so those were the ones that lived by me. Now the plains, the tribes in the plains, the middle of North America, largely hunted bison. So this was one of their favorite foods. They also, like I said, would use the fur maybe for a blanket or a rug. And they would build teepees right here. You can see they would take little tree branches, skin of the animal that helped protect them from rain or heat or snow. And those were famous for their encounters with the pioneers. So as the pioneers started going more and more into the middle of America, um, back in the 1800s, they had a lot of long wars. Now, Native Americans, they did like to share, but their property was just being completely taken over. They weren't being treated very kindly, but look at those clothes. And they just had those tribal dances, and they believed that they could make it rain just doing a rain dance. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think they're trying to make it rain? And then the Northwestern, these are the people of the Pacific Northwest. They were fishermen too. They lived in these things called long houses. So can you please say the word long house? And these are just designed to keep them dry from the rain. They also had totem poles. We'll get to see some pictures of that in just a minute. And that was a way they could express their art, kind of keep track of history based on the carvings that they would make. And you see this Native American crying right here. They had a hard life sometimes trying to share or protect their property. They needed to have places to set up some shelter. They also needed to be able to hunt. And the pioneers were a little hard on them. But here you can see the totem pole. Often the carvings meant different things. It was used to commemorate people, whether there were special events, anything historical that they wanted to remember, also their ancestry. So these were often made of red cedar wood displayed prominently in the villages. So here you can see, you can kind of go through and look at the different totem poles, and those were all just hand carved. Now the Arctic, please say the word Arctic. Yeah, these are the Alaskan natives, and they made their clothes and homes to battle the cold temperatures. They love to do ice fishing. They even created special shoes to kind of make you walk on top of the snow so they wouldn't sink in. It wasn't as hard trudging through the snow. They could actually, they kind of look like tennis rackets almost. And that just helped them float on top of the snow. And that's called snowshoeing. and those were common in the winter, but they would sometimes build little huts in underground to keep the warmth in, and also say southwestern. Yeah, now these they were pretty smart. They knew that they could use clay to make some beautiful pottery. They also would sometimes make their houses out of that to keep them warm. They were also famous for jewelry making, but they had really good beliefs and values. Makes them extra special people in my eyes, because they had such a strong connection to nature. They didn't want to destroy it. So using the resources from Mother Earth, they would do it in moderation. They wouldn't take advantage of things. They wouldn't waste things. They had a lot of respect for their elders. They took care of the aging population. They also listened to them, because sometimes we can learn from people. The older they get, the more they know a lot of times. They had a good code of ethics on what should and shouldn't happen. So they knew how to be polite and to share. And they were concerned about each other a lot. And they also thought that the land was not property to be owned by one person. It was a resource that they should all share. So here you can see them sharing, taking each other in, taking care of each other, listening to the elder, learning from them. And now there's Chief Seattle. And he was a man who said all things share the same breath, whether it's the beast, the tree, the man, the air shares its spirit with all the life it supports. So they thought that nothing was more special than anything else, that we all got to take care of everything that we have in life. They were very appreciative for the resources that they had, because sometimes life can get hard. We're pretty lucky in today's society with all the extra comforts of life, but they are part of their code of ethics: respect all things that are placed upon the earth, whether it's people, animals, or even plants. Honor the spirit in all things. They found they believed that there was a spirit inside of everything, and they thought that nature's not for us but a part of us. So they felt a part with nature. So we want to take care of ourselves. They felt they were part of nature, so they definitely wanted to take care of nature. And children are the seeds of our future, so they definitely knew that they needed to raise the kids the right way, because that's part of the future. The kids are going to take over, and they're going to have their kids. And so they wanted to plant love in their hearts and water them with wisdom of life's lessons. So when they're grown, they'll give them space to grow. So it just gets better and better and better. They wanted us to be true to ourselves. They cannot nurture and help others if we can't nurture and help ourselves first. So they knew that they had to take care of themselves, have the right proper mindset, so they could be kind to other people. They were really good about respecting other people's religious beliefs. Always said, don't force your belief on others. It's okay to talk about it, but not to force it. Also, share your good fortune with others. So they were really good about sharing, participate in charity. If somebody doesn't have something, they were really giving. They would help people. And it says, be willing to give back to the people so that people will live. And that was their main thing, is let's just all get along and help each other live through the hard times. They are very interested in being truthful. Honesty is the test of one's will within the universe, is what they thought. So by being truthful, everything falls into place. That's something we should remember. The more we tell the truth, sometimes it's hard to, but we need to, because things can really fall apart with lies. And they were really good about treating their guests that came into their home with consideration. They would serve them the best food, give them the best bed, and treat them with respect and honor. So they really took care of people. They were thankful people came to visit them. And they had to say, saying that you shouldn't take what is not yours, whether it's from a person or community, even the wilderness, or even just from a culture. So they were into their own cultures. They weren't really copycats. They respected other people. And they always thought it's not earned or given. If it's not earned or given, it's not yours. So unless somebody gives it to you, or you earn it, they felt you shouldn't just take it. Now, these are some fun facts. This is lacrosse right here. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but this is invented by the Native Americans. And this is a sport that's now played internationally, pretty much all over the world. And I don't know about you guys, I live in Michigan and I've actually been on a toboggan. This is a toboggan, which is a special kind of sled. And you can fit many people on them. And those can go pretty fast. Even in the Olympics, they were having toboggan runs, but this is more of a traditional looking one. I actually have one. And they were so special that there's even, I don't know if you guys have seen this, they had a gold dollar for just a few years. And it was to commemorate the Native Americans. And she was just a famous Native American. So I just want to say great job today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. There'll be plenty for us to learn more all about North America. So tell me one thing that you found was really interesting. Maybe you can make a headdress and show me a picture of that. I'd love to see it. So I'll see you in the next class. Have a great day.